Mrs. Pye bought the ring in a little shop near the Strand. It did not cost very much, and the red stone in it was not a ruby, but it was a pretty ring and Mrs. Pye liked it. When she got home, she put the ring away in a drawer. Some days later, she bought a new red dress and went to the drawer to find a ring to wear with it, and there was the ring with the red stone. "The very thing," she said, and put it on. It was on that day the strange things started to happen. They started at breakfast. She picked up an empty cup from the table and dropped it. But the cup did not fall to the floor and break. Instead, it stopped halfway down, and Mrs. Pye took it up and put it back on the table. No one in the room saw it except Mrs. Pye, and she said nothing. The next day, other strange things happened. There was a bus stop near Mrs. Pye's house, and as she opened the front door, she saw a bus just starting. "Oh there isn't another bus for half an hour," she said. But as soon as she came out of her house, the bus stopped and she got in. At once the bus moved on. That was very strange, she thought. Later, she went into a shop to buy a red handbag to go with her new red dress. "I'm very sorry," said the girl in the shop. "I sold the last one a moment ago. The customer who bought it is just going through the door now." But as she spoke, the customer came back into the shop. "I won't have this bag after all," she said, and gave it back to the girl. It was just what Mrs. Pye wanted, so she bought it. All that day, wherever Mrs. Pye went, things happened just as she wanted. She left her umbrella in a restaurant, and the waitress ran after her with it. She was late for her bus back home, but the bus waited for her. Later that evening, she played cards with some friends, and she and her husband won all the time. The next day, Mrs. Pye wore a green dress and another ring, but nothing strange happened. After that, whenever she wore the ring with the red stone, she was lucky and everything went just as she wanted. "It's the ring that is making me lucky," she told her husband. "It's a magic ring." Then one day she lost it. An old man came to the door and said he was hungry and thirsty. Mrs. Pye brought him into the house and gave him some sandwiches and a cup of tea. The ring with the red stone was on the table near the window. When the old man left, Mrs. Pye saw the ring was not there. With the ring went all her good luck. About a week later, Mrs. Pye saw the old man on High Street. He saw her at the same moment and ran across the road to get away from her. He ran in front of a bus and Mrs. Pye shouted, "Look out!" But the bus stopped until the man crossed and then went on. As he walked on, a big box fell out of the window of a tall building, but halfway down it stopped for a moment and the old man went on unhurt. "Now I know that's the man who took my magic ring," said Mrs. Pye, "but I can't catch him. The ring will look after him."